Hi, I'm Lois Beres at KZGN-TV, and this is Ridgecrest Talk. And today I'm talking with Dr. Anthony Damiano, better known as Tony to most of us here in Ridgecrest. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for
Tony
inviting
is
us.
one of those guys that finds a need and then goes to fill it. We have such remarkable people here in Ridgecrest, and you rank right up there on top of those remarkable ones.
Thank you.
He has a couple of doctorates. He has an EDD and a JD.
Correct.
He's involved in a whole bunch of stuff like Humane Society, some of the other things.
Cerro Coso Community College Foundation, the China Lake Museum Foundation. I'm in love with the hospice program that we have here.
We do have a great program.
Right.
Yeah.
And also the Matarango Museum.
Oh, you're in Matarango too. I didn't know that. Geez, see what I said? He just does everything. It's great. I had some people on from the hospice, and they're getting ready to have their dinner or
their
something.
annual dinner auction,
Yeah,
yes.
and that's in October? Close to
October
the-
9th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something we need to be aware of and support also.
Right.
So Tony is going to talk to us about a lot of this stuff, but I think the main thing we want to get through is the China Lake Museum Foundation. And yet, where do we start? You're teaching at the college?
Yes, I teach business law and also legal ethics.
Oh, wow.
And we get a lot of laughs when I say legal ethics.
Well, that's a little scary at this time in our life, isn't it?
Yes.
There is a such thing as ethics in law,
Right.
but you teach it.
Yes.
Okay, from the lawyer's standpoint?
From the paralegal and also the lawyer standpoint. As far as paralegals, I'm involved with that program at the college and was part of the committee that put it together about 8 years ago. And it's last year we were listed by a national education organization as the #1 online paralegal program in the United States.
Oh,
Yes.
that's wonderful.
Cerro Coso has a great group of teachers and programs that they're running. Jill Board and Corey Marvin are doing a great job of making sure that we keep promoting that, and Mike McNair in the career and technical education side also.
Right, it's not just basic everything so you can move on, because you can actually graduate from there and get a job.
Absolutely. We
sometimes.
have a very good program in industrial arts.
Oh, okay.
We have Herman Foster and the chair of the department, Jim O'Connor. Last year, there was a national, the federal government funded a number of community colleges with career and technical education programs that would take a student from 18 months to 2 years at a community college and go right into work.
Wow.
And Herman Foster was the he's a certified welder. He spent 30 plus years in the Navy as a diver, as a salvage
Underwater?
diver. Yeah, salvage diver. Yeah.
Wow.
He followed Chief Brashears in Men of Honor, if you saw that movie,
Okay.
where the black community was stopped from being divers, and Herman followed Chief Brashears into that program once it opened up.
And he's here now.
He's here, yes.
Right.
He's been here for quite a while. He did, after 30 years in the Navy, did another 25 years on the base at the airfield.
Oh my gosh.
As the division head for maintenance and keeping the facilities operational.
And now he's teaching and
He's teaching at the
building
college.
programs and doing all that.
Yes, and
That's remarkable.
Last year we had 8 students that went out into private industry across the United States. One in particular went to work on the oil in the oil fields as a certified welder. He started at $65 an hour.
That's not too shabby.
Not shabby at all.
I can afford that. That's good then, because he got enough experience that they would hire him at that
Right.
level. Well, that's remarkable. We have a great college up there, and we need to be very proud of it.
Yeah.
So, and they have.
Well, the Cerro Coso Community College Foundation, we're promoting getting students to, one, apply. Last year we started a program for the college. It's actually shared. It's a program that's shared between the college in Bakersfield, Porterville College, and Siracoso, which takes all of our scholarships, and a student can put one application in, and that application is screened against all of the scholarships available.
No kidding.
So we have about 138 scholarships at Siracoso. Bakersfield has probably 620 scholarships because they're a much larger population, and Porterville has about 115 scholarships.
It's pretty remarkable, though, as our college size that you've picked up that many. That says a lot about your faculty and the student body.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't it? We have a good student body up there, too.
A lot of alumni that went from Siracoso into engineering school, came back to China Lake, became branch heads, division heads, and department heads. And
wow.
So,
That is remarkable. I just can't. That's a word I use over and over, but I can't think of another one that's better for it, because it really is. For a small community, the brain power that we have here is just really good.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah, and I know the foundation does an awful lot of raising money and doing things like
right.
that, too.
This last year, we gave out $68,000 in scholarships. And sometimes we would be screening a group, and we'd have $3,000 for 6 scholarships, and only 3 people qualified, or 3 people applied.
Oh my gosh!
And so we would just give $1,000 each student.
Isn't that amazing?
Because the money's not there for us to keep. The money's for us
to give.
To give
right.
to the students and get them a college degree or a technical degree, so that they can go out and make a living.
Yeah, keep this economy rolling here.
Support their
do what
family.
they want to do. Yeah,
right.
that's great. I know when we have things like your, what do you call it?
Denim and Diamonds.
The Denim and Diamonds thing, and then you have something
Star
with the
Party.
Star Party. That's the
Right.
one I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
I worked with that one when I first, when I was on Foundation some time back.
Right.
It was really a fun one, too. And we need to get the word out about these scholarships.
Well, we've canceled the Star Party for a couple of years. The college is being remodeled right now, and it's between 18-month and 2-year remodeling. The school was built and operational in 1976, and so
it does need some
It was
remodeling.
due for some work.
Okay, hang on to that thought. We're going to be back. We're going to go to a break, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes. Okay, you're back with Lois and Tony, and we were talking about some of the things that he does, but what I'd really like to do now is tell me a little bit about yourself. You're probably not a native Ridgecrest.
No.
No. Where were you born? What is your background?
I was born in Miami Beach, Florida.
Really? Oh, that's so fun. Away from the desert?
Yeah. And I grew up in Hialeah, where there was a horse track. And actually, when we moved to Hialeah in 1954, there was no track there. It was just a new housing development, and then
really?
The track came in. But then in 1971, I entered the Marine Corps, went to Paris Island, and I signed up to go into an explosive ordnance disposal. Well, it turns out that the Marine Corps, unlike the Army or other services, don't take people off the street and put them into a career field like that. So I became an ammo tech. And so I was on
What's the difference?
Ammunition technician, storage, receipt, supply.
Okay.
It's logistics, ammunition logistics.
But you don't actually fiddle with the
No,
bombs
we
and this sort of
package,
thing?
we count, we inventory, we ensure that security of ammunition and explosives.
Did you enjoy that work?
Yeah, it was great.
Seems like it'd be interesting.
So
as a younger man, I mean, were you
I was
out
18.
of college? You were 18
No,
when
I
you
was
were,
18.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
No, I'll tell you about college in a
Okay,
minute.
we got to get there.
So
okay.
I
So
went in the Marine Corps, and I was on the USS Sumter going to Vietnam, and I got my draft notice. So I asked my platoon sergeant if I could go back to Dade County to report to the AFES Center to be drafted, and he said,
I don't think that's necessary.
so
you want to change careers right now?
Yeah, so I spent a short amount of time in Da Nang and
did you?
ammunition. And then...
You didn't have to meet our friend Forrest over there, did you?
No. Forrest came back in 1970.
Oh, okay,
I
so
wasn't
you
there
were
2 years after
him.
Forrest.
Okay, it's
So-
just interesting that you were in the same area.
Yeah. So when I got to back to Okinawa, I applied with my commanding officer to go to explosive ordnance disposal. So he put me with the EOD team that was in Camp Kinser, Camp Shields.
And that's where?
On Okinawa.
Oh, okay.
And so I OJT'd there for about 9 months while my clearance was completed. Then I left Okinawa and went directly to EOD school in Indian Head, Maryland. When I left the EOD school, I asked to go back to Japan because I had met a Chinese lady in Hong Kong, and my son is half Chinese and half American. But we divorced because of...
Culture, maybe?
No.
No? Okay,
alcohol.
we'll go into that another time. But your son came with you
Yeah,
to America?
he stayed with me. And
Okay.
so we went to Iwakuni, Japan, right out of EOD school. And I met Mike Baker there, who passed away last year. But Mike said to me, "Tony, if you're going to stay in the Marine Corps, you're going to have to get an education." And that was in December of 1973. In January of 1974, I enrolled in Los Angeles Community College and University of Maryland Far East Divisions and started taking classes. And last August, I finished my last doctorate after 42 years of
Well, it takes
education.
a while sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Though. Which one did you do first, the education or the
the
law?
Juris Doctorate.
You did that one
That
first.
was first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you stay in the Marine Corps then?
No, I resigned my commission and came to work for Krill Maples in the Ordnance Test and Evaluation Division behind the Clip Gate, and I came in here in February of 1984.
Okay.
That was the beginning of the Trident II program, and I was it turned out that the division head had traded an engineering billet for a logistics billet, which I was the only logistician in Code 5-2, the arranged.
So you've got the job, huh?
So.
Did you want it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Sometimes you get those jobs you don't necessarily look
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
But so then you came here?
I came to China
China
Lake,
Lake.
and I worked here on the base for 31 years, and I retired last October 31st with 43 years and 7 months and 23 days, but who's counting?
Yeah, who's counting, right? A few hours, but that's okay.
I bought my military time and combined
perfect.
my military and China Lake time.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
So,
that worked good.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you did the logistics here? Your job when you came here was
logistics.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
And then the whole time
Yes.
you were here was that?
Well,
okay.
the last 3 years, because of knowledge transfer and turning over jobs, I moved into more into radiation safety. My background was in explosive ordnance disposal was conventional and nuclear weapons.
And nuclear. Okay.
So I became 470 Weapons and Energetics Department's radiation safety person, and worked with the NOC-WD radiation office.
Okay.
And then I retired from the base, and I started teaching about 17 years ago, 1999, at the college, and my whole life has been teaching.
Sounds like it, yeah.
When I was in explosive ordnance disposal, I used to teach explosive safety
new
and
guys.
weapon handling to combat engineers who were just coming out and being deployed.
Oh, okay.
And I spent time in South Korea with deployed units, and also in the Philippines with deployed Marines.
I went to the Philippines once. It was during monsoon season, but that's another story for another time. But so you were there, then you came here, and you met your wife here?
I was in law school, and
Law
Craig
school here?
Here.
Okay.
Yeah, with Charles Porter's
Right.
Ridgecrest School
Yeah,
of
we
Law.
had a pretty good school there for a while.
Yes.
We still do we?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Well, actually, we have a follow-on school with graduates of Chuck's school. Started
Oh.
another, the Pinnacle Law School.
Okay.
So, and they're both good teachers, Leslie Anderson and Barry Sherman. If you want to stay in California and you want to practice law,
It's a way to go to get the degree.
right, it's the least expensive.
Is it?
Right.
Okay, well, that's good to know. So, did you practice law at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay, you teach it, though.
I teach
Okay.
business law. Taught basic
We're going
business
to go
classes.
to another break. We'll be
Okay.
right back. We'll be back in about 2 minutes, and we'll finish with a lot of the stuff that this guy does. Okay, we are back. You're back with Tony Damiano and myself. And we've been talking about Tony's background, some of the things he's done. And one of the things that I am most interested in right now is the China Lake Museum Foundation. We have heard so many conflicting things about what you guys are going to do. I had Alice and Bob on here, and at that time we had pictures of the building down there on China Lake, and that's where we wanted to go. And now that isn't the same anymore, is it?
No, it isn't. We're going at one time outside right outside the gate. There's about 3 acres of land that the base had dedicated to us to build a museum. And also, about 3 years ago, Wayne Doucette and Bob Campbell had worked with the county, and there's a 5-acre piece of land next to the Matarenga Museum.
Mm-hmm.
And it became a very logical spot to put 2 museums next to each other, one about the natural history of the valley, Indian Wells Valley in a desert, and the other, the people who came here in 1943 to work on the war effort, and then continue on today, helping to put the weapons into the hands of the war fighters so that they can be successful. So the China Lake Museum Foundation mission is to get that word out, let the general public know that we have this gem in the desert that continues to develop systems. We have scientists and engineers that some world-renowned, some young engineers learning from the graybeards, the older engineers and technicians.
What a place to go as a young person, to have that history passed on to you.
Right.
I think that would be awesome. And then you guys are trying to protect that history so that more people will know it.
Yes, ma'am. And Dr. Bob Smith has his science, rocket science classes for the 5th, 6th, 7th graders.
Okay.
And he does that on base, and we...
At the museum?
Outside of the museum in the grass area.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and so they get a basic understanding of physics, and then they fire water rockets to see how
That would
those
be
work.
inspiring, I
Yeah.
would think, to a kid that age.
Yeah.
Wow, I want to do it. No, I'm not a kid. Anyway, that's great. And then what is the reason that you need to get off base, or you want
Well,
to get off
one
base?
of the things is after 9/11, security on military installations tightened up. Although the museum is in a unsecure area, it's still letting people onto the base. There's easy access to many of the laboratories that if somebody could drive in with a car bomb or a truck bomb, going to the museum and then divert to one of our main laboratories.
Because nobody
that
would
be-
follow you. You could do that, yeah.
Right.
So that's why it's tightened up.
It's tightened up.
Okay.
So by moving off the base, we're going to open up China Lake's history to the United States and to foreign visitors also.
We do get quite a few foreign
Yes.
visitors here.
We have between 25 and 50,000 just driving, well, close to 200,000 driving the scenic 395. And so if you haven't seen it yet, there's a great magazine that our Ridgecrest development and cinema group have put together, and we're a part of that.
And where is that available?
That they distribute it to many of the stores, or you can go to the Ridgecrest Visitor Center on China Lake Boulevard, next to Cordell, next to the Home Depot.
Oh, okay,
and
in that building
Cordell's,
there, right.
right.
And they have it available to
They have it-
purchase, or?
No, it's free.
It's free?
Yeah,
All right.
it's an advertising magazine. It covers all of the cities from
that highway
Ridgecrest
corridor.
all the way to Newport, Bridgeport.
Wow, so
And
we get a
so-
good section of it, I hope.
We have 3 pages.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Page 11,
Yeah.
12, and 13.
I love it. So we need to move the museum off base so that more people can get in there to
Yes,
it.
to see.
So basically, you could drive by and stop at Matarango and then go behind it or sort of beside
Next to it,
How is
right
it?
next to it, right.
And then go over and see. That's the history of the natural history.
Yes.
And then our China Lake would be the history of the
Weapon
the
systems
actual
development.
weapons center and the weapons systems development. Well, that sounds remarkable.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of doing that. It's become a big problem, mostly because of dollars,
Yes,
isn't it?
absolutely.
Now, the base has given you proprietary use of all those things that you have, haven't they?
Yes. Yeah, we have an agreement
displays?
with the Admiral's Office to use those. They all belong to Naval Air Warfare Center Weapons Division, and so we have an agreement was given to us to. So when we have a facility, we have to protect them as if it was on the base, but then we also have to control access to our area. So we have no. At one time, it was believed that we might have some matching funds from the Navy, but as our economy took a dip, there is no matching funds.
And their money went away pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing we have right now is heating and electricity
Well,
on the
that's
base.
a big help, though.
But that's on the base.
But on the base, you're not going to have that when you get out. So
No.
you got.
So we have to keep our store and people coming into the museum. We need about $1.5 million
Just a little amount.
to bring about a 15,000 square foot building.
Really?
So we're working on incrementally doing this. So having our first presence will be about a 3,000 square foot facility that will have some displays in, but we'll have our gift shop, and Mary Laddick has taken that over for us.
Oh, good.
So that
Yeah. We're down to just about a minute.
Okay.
So if you have something you really want to get out, do we need to get donations, members? How do we do this?
members or donations, both.
We'll take both, right?
We need to have people realize that there is no other support for this effort other than the members of the board and you as retirees or veterans. I'm writing letters, I'm the vice president of publicity now.
Okay.
And
You didn't have enough to do.
I took that from Bob Peoples. He's still helping me, but he's got
Okay,
other
we're-
things he's
We're
getting
getting
into.
down to the end.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but we can't get too much in there. We're going to have you back.
Okay.
Because we're going to have to do this some more. But we're out of time, but become a member of the China Lake Museum Foundation, and they need you. And I'll see you next week.